2005, Activision and Infinity Ward released probably one of the most important games of my life, and that was Call of Duty 2. It was the beginning of FPS shooters for me, and made me the gamer I am today. This game set everything for me. This was the game that I was a super beast. I was an animal. And it's also the game where I met one of my closest friends, which pretty much he's my brother. If it was for this game, I probably would have never met the dude. So this game means a hell of a lot to me. Guys, welcome to the first episode of the Call of Duty Collection. We're going to be going from COD 2, this episode of course, all the way to the brand new Call of Duty Advanced Warfare when it drops. So buckle up, sit back, and enjoy the ride, people. You know, why this game is so important to me is because it came out when I was 15, and all I had back then was like Game Boy Colors, original Game Boy. I think I had a NES, the original, and a Nintendo 64, and that's all I had. Like I've never had a computer that plays games or anything like that, so, you know, never could afford anything like that. I got my NES and the other shit like at thrift shops, places like that, so. I had a bunch of games, but it all came with the system, and it was cheap because it was all used and shit. But that was how I gamed. That was what I gamed. I didn't even know Xbox existed. I didn't know PlayStation existed. Never heard of anything like it. Actually, matter of fact, I didn't even have internet. I was so clueless to that world, and the world that we live on right now, right? I was so clueless to it. I had no idea that it existed, and until my friend introduced me to it. He's like, "Hey, man, I got an Xbox 360 for my birthday. You want to come over and play?" And I'm like asking him, "What the hell's a Xbox 360?" He's like, "Oh, it's a gaming system." I'm like, "Oh, like Nintendo 64?" He's like, "No, it's way better than Nintendo 64." So I'm all excited. I'm like, "Oh, hell yeah, if it's better, man." Because Nintendo 64 is pretty epic. So if it's better than that, damn. And so I'm like, "What games you got for this thing?" He's like, "I only got one game, and it's Call of Duty 2. And I'm like, "What the hell's Call of Duty 2? He's like, "It's a first-person shooter." And again, I'm like dumbfounded. I'm like, "What the hell's a first-person shooter?" He's like, "Just watch me play and you'll get it." So I watch him play it, and it's just him murdering people back and forth, and the damn thing looks so fun to me. And I'm like, "Well, that looks fun. Let me try this shit." Of course, the first few times I play it, I suck my ass off. Like, it's horrible. I can't even shoot. I can't aim. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But it only took about 30 minutes to an hour for me to actually, you know, get good at the game and actually get to where I could slay some people. And, you know, we ended up playing that whole night long, and the next, next day after school, and the next day after school. You know, I'd come over every day of the week and play that game. And it wasn't until about like a year or two later, I finally saved up enough money to go and buy me a 360. And I remember the day like it was yesterday. We used to have a video game store here in town. We don't anymore, which really pisses me off because it was a great video game store. Anyway, they had a refurbished Xbox 360, and it was all I could afford. Like I couldn't get anything else. And so I got it, and the guy behind the counter, he was all like, "Man, we got all these games, we got all this and that," and I'm like, "I don't care, I want Call of Duty 2. And he's like all looking for it, and I'm like freaking out because I don't think they have a copy because it wasn't on the shelves. He went back in the back, and they happened to have one copy left in the back, and man, I was ecstatic. Guys, that is the end of the episode. I went on longer than I thought this gameplay was. Son of a bitch. Anyway, happy days ever after. That Xbox didn't last too long, but it was great. Alright, guys. I'll see you on COD 3. Peace.